Welcome back. South Africans are not impressed with their municipalities, and their expectations of receiving acceptable levels of service have also taken a dive. That's according to the latest South African Citizen Satisfaction Index. For more on this index, we joined via Skype by Ineke Prinsloo, the head of Customer Insights from Consulta. Ineke, good evening. Thank you for your time on ENCA. I guess it's not surprising that citizens remain dissatisfied with municipalities, given the service delivery issues we know of and the revelations of the Auditor General about the state of the metros.
Absolutely, Clement. Thank you very much. Good evening. Absolutely topical. And we do this Citizen Satisfaction Index. Consulta is a consultancy. We've been doing it since 2012. And it's really our contribution of giving citizens a voice to give the municipalities feedback and the local governments feedback from a citizen perspective. There are many, as you have mentioned, there are many metrics that the municipalities do use. But this is a scorecard where the citizens are marking the scorecard and saying to local government, you know, we are investing from an electoral and from a financial capital, and we're expecting that service delivery, that value exchange for what we are investing into you.
Which metros did you focus on, and what was the sample of the interviewees?
So the citizen satisfaction this year consisted of close on 3,000 interviews that we conducted, and specifically we focus in this section of the citizen satisfaction on the A classification metropolitan municipalities, so your bigger municipalities that we do interview the citizens across the board.
What are the actual municipal issues and the concerns that the citizens have about these metros? So what service delivery issues are they raising?
You know, it's very interesting, Clement. If we take, and we can get really bogged down into a lot of statistics, but if we elevate and if we look at what citizens are saying to us, it's really the drivers of that satisfaction are three things. It's around the economic well-being, it's about the environmental well-being, and it's about the human well-being. And it's very interesting to see that the environmental well-being comes through so strongly. The things that are so important to our citizens across the board is around service delivery, around wastage removal. So 20% of citizens said to us, you know, if I really need local government to focus on something, it is the waste removal, the garbage removal. Then a very close second is around the repairing of roads, and that links a little bit to some of the other studies that we do, that roads and transport is really about I can access economic activity, I can travel to work. Then we have in the third place, very, very, very interesting around water and sanitation, so clean water. And actually the municipalities did well. It's very important to citizens. And municipalities across the board did well on the score in terms of provision of clean water. And then in the fourth place, around public spaces. Give me a place where there's recreation, where I can meet friends, where we can be as a community. So those were the things that were very important to the citizens. But on the wastage and the garbage removal and on the fixing of the roads, the scores were really, really low. On water and sanitation and provision of clean water, we actually saw across the board quite good scores. And in parks and recreation, I think the local government can do a lot more in terms of provision of those services.
So out of those metros then, Ineke, which ones came out the worst and which ones did the best?
So, consistent performers on the index is the City of Cape Town, Ekurhuleni, and eThekwini. Those three metros over a number of years that we've been running these citizen satisfactions have really performed well. At the bottom end, we've seen that the City of Johannesburg did extremely well on the index up until about 2 years ago. They did seem on this index that we did in the beginning of the year to make a little bit of a turnaround, but the lower on the index is Mangaung and Nelson Mandela Bay and Buffalo City that really formed the lower part of the index.
So it appears that there is a significant gap in expectations versus the perceived quality of service delivery that citizens experience. What can metros start doing in order to turn the tide? And is there trust from us as citizens that the metros can actually turn the tide?
You know, it's a very interesting question. If we look at the index, that gap in terms of what I'm expecting. So as a customer, we've got to remember that citizens are our customers in local governments. And really around the expectation is very, very high. We see that citizens are under pressure, discretionary spending pressure, and also the expectation of what my local government will deliver to me. And that gap on quality we continue to see in the index is widening, about 4 index points every year. And that's concerning. That is a significant change. And really where we get it wrong as metros is around reliability of service. And that's the first thing that our metros can look at. Trust, and the index measures if I speak positively, if I have confidence. Do I have confidence that my local municipality, my local governing body is going to keep to their commitments? And I said to a delegation of Treasury and Salga this afternoon that, you know, if you put it in the language of citizenry, it's about follow the lead and follow back to basics of citizens. We've seen through COVID that the mindset of citizens, the mindset of consumers are back to basics. It's economic, it's about my economic well-being, it's about health, and it's about really feeling safe and secure. As local government, let's follow them back to basics. There's a lot of aspirations in terms of what we want to achieve as local government, but let's follow citizens back in terms of the basics, the garbage removal, the wastage removal, making sure that our road infrastructure is there. And then about leadership. As I said to the delegation this afternoon, you know, in the language of citizens, it's just being an engaging leader, making sure there's the platforms like the citizen satisfaction we can give the feedback, making sure that we are efficient doers, we get things done, and we make sure that we are responsible and responsible custodians of the financial and the electoral capital that's being invested at us as the local government.
Yeah, look, Ineke, let's hope that the municipalities will start turning the tide. Really appreciate your time